Hey everyone, Rob LaFond back with another great episode for you. Here we are in Ciclovía in Poblado. It's when they close down the streets. People can walk, run, ride their bike. It's a great activity Sunday morning. Get your steps in. I'm going to interview my man Frank. He grew up in New York, but his family's Colombian, so he has experience of going back and forth. And he started an amazing company. He's got some great business tips for you. You grew up in New York. Were you
I was born in Queens.
Okay,
Yep.
you were born in Queens.
Yeah. But my parents are straight.
Nice. You said experiential marketing company.
Yeah.
Explain that.
We're pretty much like the Navy SEALs of advertising and marketing. So if your in-house team can't figure it out, like we have producers and we do everything in-house. We could do everything from design, production, and really amplify what the brand needs for the activation. Or if it's Art Basel, it's if it's a media blitz,
You're working with like small brands like Calvin Klein, stuff like that.
Oh, Calvin, we just did something with Chanel, Spotify. We work with Google.
My man here working with the biggies.
We're lucky.
And I like to talk about business stuff. I just made a video about closing business meetings. You're the man that closes the meetings, and you work on obviously on the production side and the business side, and you have a team. How are you getting your leads? I know you get a lot of referrals now.
Well, I reach out to a lot of brands that I really want to work with, and I know my team can work with, and a lot of our team, like, they bring their expertise.
Yeah.
And, it's also hospitality, like if I'm throwing a party tonight at my house, like, what am I going to do? Like, am I just going to sit there and have you like just stand in the corner? No, we're just going to host. We're going to be the best host, and we're going to have the best party. So the thing is, when you look at these events and things that you produce, you have to look at this as like, what's the best possible outcome here? Is everyone going to have a great time? Is the brand happy with the presentation, design, production value? It has to be level 10. It always has to be top notch. So,
right.
So like if I stay in a 5-star hotel, like, are you going to get 3-star service? No, you need 5-star hotel. You want to come back there. You want to talk about that experience. And then people are like, hey, that party was great. That hotel was great. Where did you stay again? And you're going to always mention. So that's kind of like the mindset.
Yeah. Now your events are marketing for your event. I mean, for other stuff. I mean, people hear about your project, your events, and they're coming back because they're like, yo, you just did this thing with Chanel. You just did this thing with them. We want you to do a little activation for us, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, luckily we have over 20 markets in the U.S. that we execute, but I started in L.A. 17 years ago. So Los Angeles is just me, one-man show. My brother helped me out. I would do video static projections for McDonald's.
Nice.
That put me on the next level. I would go to the agency and they'd be like, where's your team? And I'm like, you're looking at it.
Nice, I love it.
And so from that, working with McDonald's, doing a lot of their late night menus around concerts at night, doing guerrilla projections. They loved it, and I worked with them for about 4 years.
Yep.
And that really opened up my scenester to a national level. And then we started working more fashion about 10 years ago. My partner joined me, and we really amplified that whole business because it was just a projection business, but now it's like all experiential.
You realize what other people what they needed. You saw, okay, well, we're doing this for you, and they actually need all these other services. You saw the holes in the market.
Yeah, because in real life experience right now, it's growing because technology is great, AI is great, but it's also like this fake out of home. People know it's not authentic. So we just grabbed some great coffee from this coffee bus truck here, and we're talking to the people that actually work at the farm, so that's experiential. So I might want to go visit that coffee farm now, you know? So we could have gone to Juan Valdez, Starbucks, or Pergamino, but they're here connecting with people on the street, that's experiential. That's better than, in my, the Instagram ads or something,
I agree. You said that, like you were talking about that earlier, and you were talking about another business, and it's like you got to hit the streets. You got to be out there, shaking hands, right?
Yeah, we have people sampling something right here.
Yeah.
And it's like people want to feel, touch, and see what the product is about. Are there cool people behind it? What's the story? And and hopefully they'll come back, and you just stay consistent with that messaging.
Right. Stop right here for 1 second. So I was talking about that a little bit in my video that I published today, and it's you were just touching on it. Why do people work with you, right? They want to know the story, right? Why you said it earlier. There's a bunch of Robs and Franks, right? There's a bunch of people that we do what we do, right? And so why are they going to choose to work with you, right? Why are they going to choose to work with me?
I think you have to be honest, transparent.
Yep.
If something's not doable, you just have to be upfront about it and say, listen, that's not possible, but we'll try this, and hopefully have a plan where they'll trust you, and you form a partnership. Because in the end, it's a partnership, and you want them to come back to you and say, hey, that was a great experience working with you and your team, and then your team has to be A-level, because then you're all pushing each other to be on the next project, and you have to make it fun for people to be a part of these projects working with you.
You got that New York mentality, and I have a little bit of that East Coast Boston mentality, and that you went to LA, I went to LA. That helped me out a lot there, because I didn't tell people stuff that couldn't be done. Like I worked, in production, and a lot of people would blow steam up people. Oh yeah, we'll make that happen, or you get there in a few days, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that project's not happening with this budget. You're going to be very disappointed if you try to do this project with that budget in that timeline. And people trusted me because I just said, like, look, it's not going to work. I'm telling you, it's not going to work. Go ahead, put 30 grand in there, but it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And people trusted me because, like I was like, I didn't care so much. I wasn't trying to just impress people and make things happen that couldn't happen.
Exactly. I think that's a smart way to look at it, because a lot of people, especially in LA, would just, obviously go there for fame and be around famous people and act a certain way and say things just to be in a room, or, so I think a lot of insecurity, you see that, people transparent, but off the cuff, like, you have to be who you are, and just be a solid person. Keep your word. Keep your word.
That's like a huge business thing, right?
Yeah.
Show up early, keep your word, right?
Yeah, and then the work ethic has to be there, because anyone can promise anything, but I think with time, people notice things. They'll say, oh wow, that guy really stands out, or that company stands out. Like, look at the consistency, and then all of a sudden you're creating a brand, and you are the brand. So you can turn and do something else. You can do real estate, you could do whatever, but I think nowadays people can evolve, do other things, but that your name is out there, so you have to always kind of protect that and stay focused.
I agree with that, and I love what you said, because recently, I had a business. I closed a physical location. I had an opportunity to sell my brand, and I almost sold my name because this guy had an offer and he wanted the name. And I was almost willing to sell it for a price, and I'll just be like, I'll do a different project. But at the end of the day, I just was kind of like, you know what? That's my name. That's my brand. And Rob had, a club, bar in Medellín. He had t-shirt brands.
Yeah.
He's had all this stuff, but people...
LaFond. I threw parties there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
So people respect me for all their stuff. And I was talking to, again, in the video, it was like, I do a bunch of different services, right? But, depending on which markets, I can offer different services, right? I can pivot. Another thing I like what you said is how you built your business. You built your business in my opinion, in the correct way. A lot of people put the cart before the horse. They have a business idea, right? They think it's going to work, or they know it's going to work. And I might even did a little bit with my bar restaurant. But you scaled your business. You were a one-man show. You had the shit working. You had it working
just
for years.
Proof of concept.
But years of proof of concept.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure when you hired that first person, you had more than enough budget to hire them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Luckily, it was always a consistent growth. So it was, and I think, you have to stay humble. You can't say, hey, I work with these brands, or I know these people, and we're making this, this budget, like we're doing this, and look at me. I think it's more about like giving back and helping people that want to start in the business. Like sometimes we work with people that have no experience. I'm like, you know what, that person seems like a solid person. Give them a shot, and if they're great, awesome. If they're not, you just say, hey, it's not working out, So I think it's more like you meet people along the way, and your business grows with that growth. So, you always have to think outside the box. It's the first ever hologram we did for Spotify in Brooklyn, Williamsburg.
Dude, that's amazing. Dude.
Cool, right? So now reserved Spotify. You can reserve up to 2 tickets with Spotify Premium.
Yeah, sorry, we're recording, and then you started to say something some this time. You said you had I like that story. You said you had pitched to Spotify, and maybe you had some meetings that didn't go anywhere. They didn't close the meeting, right?
Yeah, we worked on and off with Spotify for about 5 years. So from time to time, we do out of the box things with them. We did Bad Bunny's first album release.
Okay.
That went crazy viral. Like that was outdoor projections. Bad Bunny reposted it. And we did something with J Balvin actually with Spotify. So we've been lucky enough to work with them for about 5 years. But point is, all the ideas, all the meetings, sometimes, it's great. They understand what we're talking about. Sometimes it's the timing's in right. And then a lot of it is dependent on the artist or the product that they have. So it's not, that the ideas didn't work at the time. It's just that there was no application for it.
Wasn't ready. I like what you said about the story you had. You said you were driving through, was it Brooklyn? Bushwick?
Yeah, I was driving through Bushwick, and there was a bus, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and big open bus, DJ, just an outlaw party, just in the middle of the warehouse district. And I did videos, and I was like, man, I'm gonna follow this bus. I wanna do an event. One day we were in a meeting with Spotify, and I just threw in the chat, like, on the Instagram was a pop-up with Skrillex in Times Square. So that validated my point. Like, the idea was early when I saw it, but then, Skrillex did something with them.
Right.
So my point is, like, if you see something that's really fun out there, just always have a reference, because even though the timing isn't right, it doesn't work out, there'll be another project or, something down the road.
I like that. You said before, you got to take advantage of that moment right when it happens. You can't wait. Oh, I'm gonna email them later. You have the idea ready. Boom, hit him with it.
Yeah, just that's the thing, is you have to be quick. Because these meetings are usually short. 30 minutes or less.
Yeah.
And you have to have references. You have to have ideas, and also listen to what the client needs are, and then you have to be readily available quickly to say, hey, we can execute that. This is the time frame. This is the budget.
Yeah.
And make sure you can make it happen. But yeah,
I like that because and like what you're saying, I mean, interrupt the. I used to like a lot of times when I was doing business deals and stuff like that, I would hold off ideas because I'm like, oh, they're gonna steal my idea, right? And they're just gonna go do it on their own for a cheaper budget. But the thing is, like, there is if you don't give them the idea, there is no opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly. I like what you said also about, what was it, in your 20s and 30s and 40s.
Oh man, 20s, you're thinking about what other people think about you. You're trying to be cool. 30s, you know, you have a girlfriend, trying to settle down. I don't know, some people have kids. In the 40s, you're just like, you know what, fuck it. I don't care what people think about me or think about what I'm doing. I'm just going to be me. And that's it. That's the advice, you know?
That's the secret sauce. And you talked about consistency. You work with a lot of people who, you know, they're worried about followers, they're worried about what the people are going to think, instead of just making amazing content.
Exactly. I think you have to find a true signature. I mean, when you look at designers, fashion, music, art, I think you have to get inspired and say, hey, you know what? Look at the consistency with these artists. And I think at that time that you see, you know, what people are creating, there's a body of work, right? So what's your body of work? So you have to be consistent and kind of plant the seed and say, hey, you know what? 10, 20 years down the line, you have a forest.
Yeah, man, I love it. That being said, I appreciate you giving us more than enough nuggets for one day.
I appreciate you, man.
So yeah, thanks for being on the
Cheers
channel.
to Medellín.
That's right. My name is Rob LaFond, an audiovisual producer based out of Medellín, Colombia. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more epic adventures. See you in the next one.